We are here, me and my partners in crime, Coach Jimmy here, Danny Brissell, Dave Ward. Hey, we just wanted to say thank you for going through the 5 C's foundation course. You know, that's really where everything starts. And we've worked really hard on coming up with the 5 C's to give you clarity, to know what the story is, what's that piece of content you're teaching people, what's the call to action, what's the next step, and what's that emotional close. And we have helped thousands of people use this exact same format over and over again to build their businesses and find their ideal clients. You know, Danny, what do you think sets that apart? The people that go from winging it, maybe they're really good at speaking, maybe they have an idea, but those that really commit to the 5 C's, why do you think that sets them apart in the marketplace?
Well, again, you're talking to a former kindergarten teacher. I always have to simplify everything. The word that really freaks a lot of people out is complicate. Too many people overcomplicate this entire process. That's why we came up with the 5 C's. But even after people have created their speech using this formula, a lot of them still are a little bit lost in the woods. And that's why Dave is the master Yoda at helping people uncomplicate their lives. Tell us a little bit more about Dave, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah. So that's the 1 C we don't want you to have. The 5 C's we want are the ones that you just learned. The one we don't is complicate. So what we have found over, Danny and I over 30 something years on stage and Dave and I working together for the past 15 is the 5 C's work. But sometimes we're limited in how far we decide to dive into these things, right? Like we think, who's our ideal audience? What problem do we solve? And we come up with an answer we think is right, but sometimes that's some trial and error. Maybe the part of the content is, okay, what's the stuff that my audience actually needs to know? And sometimes we decide to teach what we want to teach and not what they're asking or what their problems are, right? Or maybe we don't even know what our product is or could our product be better? That's where my man Dave comes in here. So we have seen how, AI can help with this. AI can't tell your story for you. AI is not going to replace you. But what AI is going to help you do is get better on these 5 C's so you can deliver more powerfully and find the C you really want, clients. So Dave, tell us a little bit more about the AI tools that you've helped develop for us that have just enhanced the 5 C's.
I love clients as the C you really want, by the way. That's excellent. Yeah, so I have a background working with AI tools, and I do all the marketing here at the Well Crafted Workshop. Been working with AI for a while. One of the things I've really found is that it creates a lot of shortcuts for you. And that's what we want to do with the next course in our series is provide you with step-by-step instructions on how to create, first of all, a business information database, what I call a business information database. This is simply a chatbot that knows everything there is to know about your business, where it's located, whether you have other employees or you're self-employed, what the main streams of income are, how you get existing clients. It's going to know your target audience. It's going to know the people that you are looking for and where you tend to find them. Then it's also going to help you with a variety of other things, including other places that you may not have thought of where those ideal clients are at that you can get in front of them. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then again, just going step by step, we're going to feed it the 5 C's prompts. What that's going to do is going to get you started. If you watch that 5 C's foundation course and you felt a little lost, or you felt a little overwhelmed, or you felt a little bit like, I just don't have real direction here in, for example, the content of your presentation. One of the things that we talked about in that course was we want you to focus on 3 key things and really no more than that, because people can get really overwhelmed if you tell them the 15 different great things that your business does. And it probably does more than 15 great things. But what are the 3 things they really, really need to know? That is the sort of thing that this chatbot process can really help you really nail down is, you can ask it for a suggestion. What are the top 5 things? And then amongst that, narrow it down with the 3. And within the 3, what do people really need to know here? So that's going to help you really tighten up that content section, which is where people tend to focus. But as Danny has says many times, the bun is more important than the burger. And so that's just one example of something that this can do for you. The other thing it can do for you is just really, really help you streamline a lot of the different business processes you have. In particular, if you don't already have an offer, this will help you create an offer. We have a lot of people who come to us, they have podcasts, they have a newsletter, they've got a social media presence, Maybe they're already on stage talking to people, and they know they want to create some sort of offer that's going to get people to keep moving forward with them and take the next step. If you're not clear on what that might be, this is exactly the course you need, because it's going to help you create that ideal offer if it's not something you already have. If you've already got it, great. You can feed that right in and let it understand and let it start talking to your audience about their problems the way that they talk to their spouse over dinner about their problems, or their buddies at a bar. And that's really the key to effective communication here. That's a little nutshell about what the course is.
Well, I love that because I just think it gives so much more clarity. I mean, I know it goes back to that first C, but I know doing this and then using your prompts, I got better on the content piece. I got really, really better on making sure that when I'm teaching my audience, I'm giving them what they need in the language they use. And I've been doing this for years, and Danny's been doing this for years. And it's just this extra layer of, oh, that's another great example, something I wouldn't have thought as before. And so I think the idea of that, and I love the second part of that, Dave, is I love the fact that if you have a product, maybe this is how to improve it. You know, so often sometimes we create a product or a service that we think our audience wants, and maybe it doesn't convert in the way that we want to. And what these prompts do so well is it helps us say, here's some of the other fears. Here's some of the other objections. Here's some of the other reasons your clients either aren't buying or taking the next step, or when they do, maybe they're not completely satisfied. And can you teach on that just a little bit about how these prompts make sure you're going to over deliver for your audience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, helping you create or refine an offer, or even create a product, create or refine a product or service is exactly the sort of thing this is going to be great about. And the other thing you talked about there was the target audience. We're going to do a deep dive on your target audience. The more you know about your target audience, I mean, this is the first questions we ask. It's the clarity questions, right? Who's your audience and what's the problem you solve? We're going to do a deep dive on those clarity questions. And when you're done with that, you're going to have an understanding of not just the demographics about, whether it's mostly men or mostly women or mostly married or mostly single or what age they might be. We're going to do a psychographic analysis, and you're going to walk away with a really clear understanding of what your target audience is afraid of. What do they want? What are their desires? And then what are they frustrated with? And if your product speaks to one or more of those things, you're probably in the right place. But if it doesn't, this is where you can help gain some refinement and fine tune things. We always talk about Jimmy as the story chiropractor. That's what this can be for you. It's not that we're going to completely change your business or anything like that. We're just going to give you a tool that you can use for all sorts of things. I mean, you could use this for social media ads, for example. You could use this. Jimmy was just using it yesterday or the day before to help him create some copy for an Instagram reel that he was trying to create. It does all that stuff really brilliantly. Now, do you just copy paste that? Probably not. But is it going to give you a great starting point? 100%.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's exactly what I did yesterday. Is that bot had already been created. And when I went in and I said, hey, because of what you know with my business, this is what this reel is about. This is what I want my audience to not only learn from it, but this is the action I want them to take. And it helped craft, knowing that with all the information, that it wasn't just some generic thing that the bot spit out. It was because it had been trained specifically to what we do as a business as well. Danny, I want to roll you back in here one more time before we wrap this thing up. And as someone that speaks all over the world all the time, and one of the most seasoned speakers that I know, how is this, once you have access to our bot we lovingly call Peggy, when you have access to Peggy, how has that changed when you're prepping for a podcast or a stage? What are the things that you've been able to utilize with her now that you didn't before?
Oh my goodness. Dave has saved my life with this AI. Everybody freaks out about artificial intelligence, but when used properly, it's also authentic intelligence. I think of Men in Black. The Will Smith character is, he points out to Tommy Lee Jones, you know the difference between you and me? I make this look good. That's what Dave does with the AI. He makes us look better. It's the cherry on top. We were the vanilla ice cream. He's adding all the hot fudge and everything. And it just saves so much time, energy, and headache that I used to spend trying to refine talks. Now we have an instant tool. I mean, you're absolutely right. Instantly, I'm getting all kinds of ideas that I never even thought of. It's making me sound much more intelligent than I ever could be. That's all a tribute to what Dave has put together. And it's just going to simplify people's lives.
So Dave, once we like identify these prompts and everything to personalize this chat, are people just kind of on their own to use it, or is there some kind of guideline, or is there coaching to go along with it to make sure people are utilizing it correctly?
Yeah, that's really up to them. If you're experienced in using these AI tools, you're probably good to go with all the prompts that I'm going to give you. But what I want to know is what you want to do with all this information. That's what I really want to know. I talked a little bit earlier about helping it create an offer. That comes directly from one of our community members who had that exact situation. He's got a great podcast. He loves doing it. He wants to give people a next step with him, and he's just needs clarity on what that next step is. Great. We create those tools. The same thing with you. If there's something you want to do and you need some personalized help, all you've got to do is reach out to me and we'll customize it for your needs.
That's awesome. So you've gone through the course, you had the basis for your 5 Cs, and you can take off and run with that as well. Like, we want to make sure you had that foundation. But if it makes sense to you to utilize these AI prompts and utilize this new technology to take the foundation you've worked on that's personalized to you and take it to the next step, Dave, what do they need to do next if they want to take that and utilize these AI prompts to take their 5 Cs to the next level?
They're just going to go back to the classroom tab and you'll see it as a course that's right there. And then you just need to go ahead and unlock that course. And all the instructions on how to take advantage of that are going to be there. So it's just right there in the classroom now.
I can't wait to see people's reactions to this. We definitely, when you take advantage of this course and go through it and start putting it into action, the first thing we want to hear are the results that you get and the things and the ahas, because we love celebrating your wins as well. So on behalf of Dave Ward, on behalf of Danny Brissell, my name is Jimmy Hayes Nelson, aka Coach Jimmy, and the whole Well-Crafted Story Workshop team. Thank you for taking this journey with us, and we look forward to hearing your next well-crafted story.